Cryonics facility in Australia has just preserved its first deceased person. The body, known as Patient 1, has been frozen in the hope that one day science will reanimate them to carry on living. Well, Peter Tsolakides is the founder of the facility and he joins us now. Good afternoon, Peter. So you call a body, I understand, in these circumstances, a suspension. So can you tell us about the suspension process that this patient 1, has gone through?
Yeah, hi Rose. Roz, thank you very much for inviting me to your program. Our process is basically to take a patient from the hospital bed after legal death and then take them through a process at a local funeral home. Basically, at that process, we have experts who apply various medications, various stabilization chemicals, and perfuse the body with substances such as to keep the body preserved at a very low temperature. They're almost antifreeze. They're our sort of grade antifreeze. Then from there, we take the patient to the facility, and at the facility, we have a special technique, and we bring the patient down to liquid nitrogen type temperatures. Then we put them in a cryostat, a dewar, which is essentially like a large thermos flask, and they're stored in liquid nitrogen, and there's very little chemical activity that goes on at that stage, which means that the patient can stay there for hundreds of years if need be, as long as obviously the liquid nitrogen is topped up, and we are able to do that.
Yeah, and how long had patient 1 been a client of yours for?
Not long, not that long. They've been a client, I can't get into many details, but they've been a client for a little bit of time before we did the suspension.
Okay, so you were the first to set up such a facility in Australia, actually in the Southern Hemisphere, I believe. Are you still the only one? Or have others popped
Yes,
up?
still the only one. It took 10 years to do it, so still the only one, yes.
And how many people are on your books then to be frozen after death?
At the moment, we have sort of two groups. One is what we call investors. We're a non-profit organisation, but I'll use the term investors. They put money in at the beginning as initial funds to get the whole operation started. We have about 35 of those. They paid about $50,000 to $70,000. After we got started, which was early this year, we then took in what you'd call customers, commercially called customers, but as a non-profit, they're clients, they're also members. We took them in, and we've got another 15. So at the moment, we have somewhere like 50 on our books.
And your clients are putting a lot of faith in the science that they'll be able to be brought back to life at some point in the future, but that's still a long way off, isn't it?
It's a very long way off. All of us, look, there are no guarantees. We always keep saying it. All our people who are involved in cryonics understand that, because they're people who we've known for quite a while. They understand that they're interested in cryonics. No guarantees in cryonics, but they do see, like a lot of us, a lot of things going on at the moment. Medical advances, brain preservation techniques, things like hypothermic medicine, cloning, and I can go on, synthetic limbs, nanotechnology, a lot of things at their nascent, early stages, which if you project them forward, make cryonics possible. But we're not saying it's 100% possible, but we're saying there's a reasonable probability.
So your clients are putting quite a lot of faith.
The alternative. Sorry, go on. Sorry,
I interrupted you, Peter. Apologies for that. Your clients are putting a lot of faith in you and in your organisation that it'll still be around in hundreds of years, if indeed that's how long it takes for the science to get there.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is an issue. The two US organisations that we've modelled ourselves on have been around for 60 years so far. What we're doing is, as we get our additional clients, our members, we've got them in an age bracket at the moment from about the 35-year-old up to about the 80-year-old. What we're hoping for, as we get more, each generation gets involved and keeps the facility operating. That's basically what's happening now. We're very much also a volunteer type organisation. So a lot of people who are interested are vitally interested in what they're doing, and they hopefully will keep the organisation going. At least we can cover the next 50, 60 years with the depth of who we have.
And are you planning to be frozen after your death, Peter?
Yes, I am.
So what are your thoughts then about the reasons why some people may be cautious about being brought back to life? You're not being reborn, are you? You'll be the age that you died, so you won't experience youth again. You'll be without your family and your friends.
No, wait, no.
How do you answer those?
You'll be a young, healthy body. Basically, we're talking about coming back in a young, healthy body. We're not talking about coming back as a 80 or whatever year old you are when you pass away. So you're essentially a 25-year-old, coming back.
How does that work, though? If you died at 80, how do you come back in a young, healthy body?
There's a lot of science even at the moment, but let me, that actually gives you a lot of inklings here. There's the science of cloning, the science of synthetic limbs, the science of sophisticated prosthetics, nanotechnology. All these enable you. Let me back off. The brain is the most critical part. Everything we do is to preserve that brain, but the rest of the body is not that critical in the scheme of things, and the rest of the body can essentially be brought back together as a young body.
It's fascinating stuff. Peter Tsolakides, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat.